What's up, Pawn family? Welcome to Pawn Leaders Live. I appreciate you. Hope you're having an incredible Tuesday. I've had like 3 or 4 phone calls with pawnbrokers today. Had a mastermind this with the Pawn Leaders, which is amazing. If you're here watching, let me know who's here. Just write hashtag live in the comments. If you watch this on the replay, write a hashtag replay so I know when you're asking questions and I can get back to you. So again, thanks for being here. This is a big mistake that you might be making when it comes to your shops. And I'm seeing this happening a lot in the industry. And that is that you cannot lead and lie at the same time. I'll say this again. You cannot lead and lie at the same time. So many times I'm talking on phone calls with pawnbrokers, strategy calls about being in the mastermind, and they start talking about what's going on and how well they lead, and they give themselves a 7 or an 8, and marketing is 7 or an 8, and strategy 6 and 7. And then I start asking questions, and they're like, "No, well, if you put it that way, no, well, if you put it that way, I'm more like a 4 or 5 or a 2, 3." It's very hard for us to be able to admit that we're not the best. It might be very hard for us to admit that we are not incredible leaders or not incredible marketers, not incredible strategists. But when you admit that you're not the best, when you admit and you're truthful with yourself, that's the exact moment that you can lead. That's the exact moment that you can look into yourself and say, a change needs to happen. That's the exact moment that you can say, okay, what can I look for, either coaching or consulting, whatever that is, to make that change? I need to sit with my team and work on this culture. I need to figure out what I can do for this marketing. But before that, just lying to yourself that everything's fine. And one of the conversations I had today was with a pawnbroker 20 plus years. And when we started diving deep into the questions and asking more clarity, things started popping up. And at first they were hard on themselves. Maybe I'm not what I'm saying. And I said, wait a second. It's not about not being what you said. It's just about telling the truth of where you are to be able to get to that next level. To be able to the truth of what's not working. To be able to take action to make that work. And that's exactly what happened to me 5 years ago, 40 pounds overweight. Wife almost said, we're done with this marriage 7 months into the marriage. And I thought everything was fine. But I had to admit to myself that things weren't fine. That barely had any sex life. That the business, I wasn't really working on it. I wasn't unmotivated, zero passion. And I would complain about why the business wasn't growing. And it wasn't until that moment that shifted for me when I told myself the truth. I was clear with what's not working. Where am I lying to myself? Because again, you cannot lead and lie at the same time. You don't have to tell everybody everything. You don't have to walk up to your team and say, hey, I have a drinking problem, or I have a drug problem, or I have a gambling addiction. But you do need to get help. You don't have to tell everybody that you don't know what's happening with your numbers, but you do need to figure out your numbers. You don't need to have to walk up with a flag and say, my culture sucks and I don't have a mission statement, but you do need to work on your mission statement, your vision, and your values. Because if you don't work on it today, things aren't going to get better, especially in the day and age. Things aren't going to get better, especially in the moment when the world is kind of turned upside down and you're building your business back up after your pawn balance I just tanked. If you want things to grow and become better, both personally and professionally, is you got to stop lying to yourself. And you've got to take off the mask of, I've got 3 balls, I'm a pawnbroker. And you've got to say, what isn't working? Is it my operations? Is it my marketing? Is it my leadership? And sometimes you have no idea until you become part of a group that's talking about it. And then you start hearing stuff and you're like, oh my goodness, that's what I need. That's what's wrong. And when you start working with other people and you're seeing what they're doing, what they're not doing, the mistakes they're making, the mistakes you're making, it's like popcorn, right? You start popping, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I haven't done this for the last 7 years. We had somebody in the mastermind say, I've been in this business for 20 plus years, and I cannot believe that I haven't just thought about this one thing that made me an extra $200,000. An extra $200,000. Or somebody who said, we started our online sales and we made 7 figures selling online. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to stop lying to yourself and start telling yourself the truth. And sometimes it's hard to do. And it's what I love doing, because at that moment with my clients, that's when the shift occurs. When you stop lying to yourself and truth comes out, that's when we can work. Not when I've gone over your metrics and I go into your store and we paint the wall, and when we work on, you should lend more. That's not when change and transformation happens. Transformation happens the moment you tell yourself, I've been lying to myself, things aren't what they are, and I want to make a change. If you want to make a change in your pawn business, in your personal life, write change in the comments. And I'll reach out to you because I want you to change. I want transformation to happen. You want to leave a legacy. You don't want to work 15 hours a day and then go home tired, broken, overwhelmed, stressed out. Is that what you want? Because there's different ways of doing it. You can be an overpaid employee, or you can be an entrepreneur or a leader if you're a store manager that has things organized and there's less overwhelm, less stress, and you start living that epic life, but that's up to you. And it starts with telling the truth. Forget change. Use the word truth, right? Jeff, I know you wrote change. Use the word truth. If you want to change, if you want things to get better, if you want your pawn business and your pawn balance to go up, if you want sales to even do better, less overwhelmed, better team members, write truth in the comments now. But you can't do it without telling the truth. So with that, thank you for watching. I wanted to just mention, we've got Power Up Pawn coming up on Monday. It starts Monday. We have 110 people already signed up for this event. It's over 10 days, watch on demand. Don't miss out. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Don't miss out on the opportunity to learn and to grow. Some people are afraid of growth. I had a conversation today with a pawnbroker who said, I don't know. And I just said, do you believe in yourself? Well, I believe in myself. Then what's stopping you? Stopping you from making the investment to grow and learn to get to the next level. Because only you can stop yourself. Only the BS you say in your mind can stop yourself. And that's all by not telling the truth. Once you tell the truth and you spit it out, that's when action comes alive. That's when commitment and consistency can start shaping and forming so that things can happen and you can grow and scale your business. But if you don't do that first and foremost, there's no clarity in telling the truth, then that won't happen. And Lisa says, of course, we all want growth, don't we? See, the truth is, a lot of people can say that they want to grow, but they're not ready to take the action to grow. They're not ready to invest in themselves and their team to grow. Everybody can say, I want to grow my business, but do you want to change what you currently have? Do you want to invest in yourself to make it happen? Roberta, my pleasure, says, thank you for doing this, for putting focus on professional development for pawnbrokers. There was no other way. I saw my father suffer through this, my uncle, my grandfather. I suffered through it. I walked into shows and conferences with people 300 pounds and drinking and just insanity because they weren't telling themselves the truth about what wasn't working. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Love you all. And register for powerpawn.com. And if you want to make the change, write truth, and I'll reach out to you. I want to work with people who don't just want to grow their business, but want to make change in the world that we live in, who want to leave a legacy to their kids and their family and their communities. There's many people who have successful pawn shops. Congrats to them. But leaving a legacy to your team, your family, your community, it's a whole different ballgame. That's what being a leader is. That's the type of people I want to work with. So we can make this world a better place for my daughters, your family, your team, whatever that is. So with that, I got to go. I've got an appointment in 3 minutes, but thank you for being here. I'll see you guys next week.